I've never taken any single person's money since I started trading. You know, I've never taken any like investor, like say, okay, this man gave me 100,000, this man gave me never. All those stories you hear on social media is totally bullshit and nonsense and made up, totally made up. Not even a single person. If the person is bold enough, they should come up and say, hey, you are telling lies. This is an interview. Let them prove me wrong. Nobody, not even a single soul can come out. It's just trash, nonsense all throughout, Tell you the truth, I needed to take him on for that allegation. It was a dent on my reputation that I spent so many years building, and I'm still growing. I have a lot of things that I personally want to achieve for myself. I'm not what like he sort of thought I was or sold myself out to be. He probably thought, because he didn't know anything about me. He does not know me from anywhere. He does not have any idea that I even existed.
Guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to have a beautiful conversation with Kojo Forex. You know who he is already. If you don't know Kojo Forex, what are you doing on the internet? Anyway, Kojo Forex is a young Ghanaian Forex trader who has made name for himself in the world of currency trading. In today's conversation, we are going to get to know how he started, the challenges he faced, and maybe talk about his love life, because rich men don't do PDA, but Kojo Forex is doing PDA. He's displaying the wife on the internet, blowing cash on her. It simply means if you go feed do make you see. Anyway, bro, welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, guys. So what you don't know is this interview we keep postponing, we keep scheduling postponing. It's been like 2 years, right?
Yes, over 2 years.
Okay, so we are finally here, and we have to do it in different countries. Anyway, that's life for you. Can you tell us about your background and early life? Where did you grow up, and what were your early interests?
Okay, so starting, because my dad is a policeman. Because he's a policeman, it means that we move around a lot. With the specific unit he is, which is the CID unit. He's a chief inspector. He's been in the service for close to 30 years, going on retirement very soon. So I started my early life in Accra. We lived in Central Region. We lived in Volta. We lived in basically most of southern part of Ghana, but like from a very I'd say middle class family. We're neither rich, neither like dead poor, but yeah, we're just hanging in the middle there like that. I have two siblings, female, and then I'm the last born of three children, two girls, then myself. And then like yeah, I basically grew up like any ordinary Ghanaian kid, from a family of five, and then living a modest life.
Sure. Okay, so we are going to go straight into issues. I don't want to focus too much on Forex trading because I don't even understand the language, and I'm sure people are going to get lost in there. But let me just chip this one in. So, what initially attracted you to Forex trading? How did you discover it, and what sparked your interest in this field?
Okay, so when it comes to trading, it has existed for a long time. It's not a new thing. Trading is done by almost everybody, every day in and out. We don't even know that we are involved in trading. I'm sure and now you find yourself in the United Kingdom. But of course, when you were preparing to leave Ghana, you knew that when you get to the UK, you're not going to be spending the cities, right? You were so used to the cities. What did you do? You probably started, saving up some cash and going to the Forex Bureau to change it, and then hopefully go to the UK and make use of it. You knew that you could not use your cedis in the UK. You'd need the pounds to use there. That brief transaction you did there is trading. Just that you did not do it for profit seeking. You did it for transactive motive. But when you come to us, we do these type of transactions for speculative reason, which is like for profit seeking motive. So Forex has existed as far as you have one way or the other exchanged money before, for buying something, or even when you use your Visa card, which is dominated in Ghanaian cities, and you buy something on Amazon, you buy something on Alibaba, and then the thing is quoted in USD, but then you paid in cedis, you traded. because there's going to be an exchange rate applying for the price differential to be affected. Look, the currency market is about the most volatile market. They keep moving, prices keep changing, going up and down. We don't know. Even in Ghana, we can attest to that. Sometimes I like to use a local relationship to explain things or make things more clearer. Here we were here, and then just about early part of the year, our exchange rate to the dollar was about 6 or 7. Before the year ended, which was 2022, we jumped all the way up to 14. We traced back to a little about $8, and then currently we are back to about 11. Do you see the volatility and fluctuations? You should ask yourself, how? Who is doing that? Is it the government setting that? The government don't like us? No, it's not the market. It's not the government. It's the market. It's caused by elements of demand and supply, plus a lot of micro and macro economic activities going on. And these are so deep and broad to talk about. You can see the number of books I have here. You'd have to be well read to be able to make meaning out of all that. You cannot just appear out of it's not sport betting. You don't need odds. Let me throw this odds here. It's actually, things that are done by institutions, big hedge funds, big corporations, unicorn organizations, but they have a sublet which allows the private man like me, the retail man with my small cash, who is not ranging in multi-billions of dollars, to still participate in the market and make a proportionate profit of my capital thereof. So yeah, that's just like that thorough idea I can give you about trading now.
It's like a masterclass, trust me. But guys, Kojo Forex has a school, right? You train people to become forex traders, right?
Yeah,
So you can join, and he's going to give you everything you need to know. I tried doing forex trading. Not I didn't go into it. Like I tried understanding it
yeah,
and tried to
yeah.
go into it, but I mean, like you are saying,
But
beat making science.
with what I explain now, do you get the whole idea?
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense with what you've explained. Like
Yeah.
using the traveling example, you need to
Yes.
change money and all of those. It makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. So, well, in a layman's world, if you have foreign currency and the rate is now, let's say, 11 cedis or
Yes.
whatever, just
Yeah.
keep it. It will go to 15. Then you make money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But you know that while you're keeping it, it could actually also drop to let's say 9 or 8, and that means you're losing, right?
That is where you guys come in. You know when to withdraw and when to put more
Like
in and all of those things.
exactly.
Okay, so I see a lot of people coming at you on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying all sort of things. Kojo Forex is this, Kojo Forex is
Yeah.
that. He will take your money, blah blah blah. Please, do you take people's money to trade for them and you end up losing the money?
No, never. I've never taken any single person's money since I started trading. You know, I've never taken any like investor like say, okay, this man gave me 100,000, this man gave me never. All those stories you hear on social media is totally bullshit and nonsense and made up. Totally made up. What I can touch on is, of course, for any person who gains, especially some level of popularity, and then you the human being who's gained that popularity is a working business, then you tend to have certain setbacks. Like let's say somebody like let's say who will I even mention, Sarkodie, or let's say Yvonne Nelson, or let's say who mention any person. They are a product by themselves, but they are not necessarily a working business in the financial world. Like me, like this, because I put myself out there as a trader, and then a private fund manager. It's like my image calls out for money. Yeah, give me money, let me trade for you. So you have a lot of unscrupulous people creating fake accounts, Facebook, thousands of them, even on Instagram, thousands of them, then using my image. So sometimes people do fall prey, and then they have. But I've made efforts to kind of like verify all my social media accounts, the ones that I actively use, my Instagram, my Twitter, even my Telegram, down to what's the name, YouTube. And then you wouldn't get anybody with a screenshot with my verified badge and saying that this man took this money from me, this one, this. It's always just like those, unfortunately for them, falling for those type of things, which is hard to control anyway. But coming back to the question you're asking directly, me, never. Not even a single person. If the person is bold enough, they should come up. and say, hey, you are telling lies. This is an interview. I came, let them prove me wrong. Nobody, not even a single soul can come out. It's just trash, nonsense all throughout. But yeah, I think hopefully answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because well, I personally know Kojo Forex, and with the kind of guy he is, nah, all these things you guys are saying, it's not fair. Anyway, Bongo Ideas made some allegations, and you sued him.
Yeah.
Well, I have not heard anything again. I don't know if he went to the court, if he's not been served. What is happening? How far with that case? Or you can't talk about it.
Well, well, I'll just try to give that, little bit of, I'd say, calming down answer to make some sense out of it. Tell you the truth, I needed to take him on for that allegation. It was a dent on my reputation that I spent so many years building, and I'm still growing. I have a lot of things that I personally want to achieve for myself. I'm not what like sort of thought I was or sold myself out to be. He probably thought, because he didn't know anything about me. He does not know me from anywhere. He does not have any idea that I even existed until I met him at Wade Myers event, and I confronted him to advise him. I don't know if that day you were even there as well. The day he hosted the Yes, yes. So that was why I met him. Like, look, young man, I see your activities on social media. You're doing this and that and that. You want to calm down. You want to tone down. Put your maximum focus on making money. Then after that, you can choose to have an opinion if you so wish. But now you're seeking opportunities, and then you're denting yourself, putting out, bad image. And this, yes, I know sometimes you want the hype of it, but at least put some decency to it. He listened to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent about 5 to 10 minutes just with him. I approached him, I spoke to him as a brother. I did not take his number. I did not take anything from him. He did not take my number. Of course, he probably did not care. He was wondering, like, who is this man, Mozo, or who is this guy? Then I left. But I think from there on, he probably like noticed my social media, or just randomly bumped into it, and then felt like, oh, this is a person I spoke to. He could be of good help, right? But prior to that, truth is, after all the time that I spent speaking to him, he still went back on social media doing the same thing. And me, my energy, I like to preserve my energy. Energy is something that is very contagious. I like to distance myself from negativity, from like those type of things. I know how these things can feed off on you. So since I saw that this money make any meaning out of the time I spent, my time is very valuable to me. I'm like, I might as well just wash my hands of this guy. Let him just, do his thing. He knows where he's going with it. He has his own game plan. And then I saw after a week or two there on that he came into my DM. Please, could you? I met you at this event. Can you teach me how to trade and stuff like that? Then I ignored because I know where this thing is going. I don't want to get myself involved. I've spent time to advise you, didn't listen. And then he would come into my is it Snapchat or something like that, just engaging me on all the avenues he had, and I totally did not, react to any of those messages, neither respond purposefully. Not that I did not see it. I saw it and I chose not to because I did not want to have anything to do with him. But you know how these things are. It's like love, cares, then eventually becomes sentimental and hate. So it's like, oh, I needed help from him. He did not help me. Let me see what I can get on him. It's annoying. It's normal for anybody. We get resented when we get rejected. So I felt like it was the same thing happening with him. So it started small. I'd see his comment under my post, you negotiating your this, and I'm like, this young man, what is your problem? Like, where does it come from? You don't know me. I advised you. You did not take it. You came into me for help. I did not budge. So suddenly was this like back and forth here, there, then I totally ignored. But I realized that it was eventually gaining traction. It was eventually gaining, it's like somebody is hitting at you saying this and you're not responding. Sometimes people say, oh, leave him, Jan, man, and leave him, don't touch on it. But they don't understand the value of reputation. They don't understand the value of goodwill, good name. So for people that say that, obviously those people have not been in any position to lose a vital thing like reputation. So it's easy for them to just say, leave him, just don't talk about it. No, sometimes something needs to be addressed, especially when the skill is getting to it. So I started responding to him that, look, young man, be careful. What you're doing is this and that and that. and he'd go back and forth. It's a whole lot of long story. I don't want to go into every tiny bit of the details, but long story short, it got overwhelming. He started posting physically my pictures and saying, writing all sort of nonsense. We know what he's doing that for, and I addressed some of them. And then I realized that it's better for me to keep my vocalness and then publicity out up to myself, and then let the law handle it. If he says he has all those things against me, fraud, I'm involved in money laundering, unscrupulous and illicit businesses, he needs to come up to the law and prove that. So I reached out to my lawyers and I put those cases before them, and in fact it cost me money that can literally, build somebody a whole property to take that guy on. If people don't know, right? You think that is just some one side of thing. It cost me a lot of money, but I had to do that. I just intended to expand. And remember, I'm still very young, I'm not old. I'm just 30 years, and regardless of how somebody will see me, I still find myself like, having a lot of things to achieve. So why in my early years of build up, I'm a young man just thriving, will I make money which I can put to meaningful use, now expend it into chasing some useless guy who, but it gets to a point where you have to just cast those things as opportunity cost. You got to like expend that money to get that thing done. So I took him on. My lawyers reached out. He thought it was a bluff initially. So he saw him coming back on social media to do all those things. I'm like, okay, I might as well not touch on it. Let's see how it goes. My lawyers did a lot of digging, went to serve him, and then what happened is that what's the name? They couldn't now find his location, which we all know him and how he operates, hiding, and then you only find him in his neighborhood, and then in some spots just doing his own thing. So we had to actually go into something to call substituted serving, which means that you can serve the person even on social media. But again, you see, time dies out anger, time dies out furiousness, and like I said, like I'm not in that capacity as a young man to suddenly just raise my shoulders up high like that and then start dragging and chasing somebody and be so pleasant that let's put this man to jail. That's not my cause, that's not my purpose. I have so much bigger things to focus on than to see that somebody is being put behind the bars. It does not bring no validation to me, it does not bring no peace to me, no excitement. I just wanted him to stop that nonsense, to stop talking about me, to stop putting falsified information. He messaged me, he sent me so many, emails telling me, bro, I know this, I'm sorry, let's trash it out. This, and I gave him an ultimatum that look, for us to do that, go on Twitter space or wherever you put that information, and go and retract those statements. He came on Twitter space, he wanted to, you could feel, but his ego was so up high, and then twisted and turned the whole thing, which is okay. But like I said, over the months, weeks, he's obviously, yielded to distancing himself from talking anything about me. So it's like, then what does it still cause for me to like keep? Because my lawyers are just there for me to just say, hey guys, why are you not doing this? It's all about it, authority. It's a service they provided for me, and I have paid them for that service. Now they even wanted, look, they brought the alternative service, and then it was like I should come and post it out on social media, and I'm like, look, I will not do that. It's enough with the whole. I can show you those messages privately if you want. I wouldn't want that on social media. I can show you. I told them it's enough. I don't want too much negativity around me. I'm still young, like I said, building my business. I need to focus on my positive sides than one young guy just through. And then over the months, you can see how it has evolved. Like there's not much of that negativity around me again. So I left it. It's not like the case is dead. Don't forget that. I have just left it partially pending. Just partially pending. The case is still before court. He was supposed to be called. He was actually called. Now it's just that substituted service, which means that it can be sent on email, which he has been served already. Now it's like I need to press that button, and then we have to, meet in court. It's pressing that button that I have chosen to give it a brief, breathing space. If you understand where I've come from, being that I want to maintain my positive energy, and it does not bring me any delight to see a fellow young man just being dragged behind bars for his stupidity's sake. I see him very young. He'll learn, he'll grow, and you realize that some of the things they did were not necessarily reasonable or sensible enough. So that's just what I can touch on that part of the story.
Wow. Well, I know this is a very sensitive issue for you. And when I was about to ask, I was being careful. I don't know if I was going to ask too much, but what I'm going to say is, bro, like, I think you should let it go because people that know you knows you're a good person. Like, let him do what he's doing. Look, I had an experience, okay, on the internet, first time ever dealing with this drama on the internet, and I replied. Until today, I regret replying. Honestly, it's not worth it. It's waste of time. It's going to take your energy. Like, bro, just let him be. He's doing it to everybody, and I think people are not even replying. He's not relevant, bro. Just keep being you. Anyway, now, why do you display your wife on social media with money like that? Like, you are making some of us feel like, are you, what are you doing? Like, look at how your brother is doing. Can't you do something like that? Why do you display her with a lot of cash? You send her money on, like, sometimes you surprise her. You will say, baby, check your phone. She will check and boom, 50K. Kojo, why?
Look, I even did something for her about a week ago. For that, I intentionally took it off of social media, because if I even posted that again, it would have been another, like, viral stuff going on. I do a lot of things for my wife, and it's not something that is new, or it's not something that is again for show off. I understand, some, I would say, what will I even say, like, I want to use the right word, so I don't mean something different. Like, I've had so much relationship with people abroad, and then public display of affection. It's, needs a norm. You know where you are now. Like, what is not normal in the UK? You get what I mean? But in a part of the world, like, we're so used to just being timid and humble, and why are you showing this? Why are you doing this? And it gets to a point you have to live out of that. And then looking at what I've done for myself, and then, like, quote unquote, my social class, certain things are not like anything to me per se, not for bragging purpose, but like, if I feel like my wife have done something amazing and I want to reward her, and then I'm giving her, let's say, okay, baby, take this 30,000, take this 50,000, bro, it does not tickle anything with me, not again for bragging sake. So I find that very norm. But again, like I'm saying, if you take it in context of the society where we come from, hey, this man wants to show off. How can you? But like, we're talking about, what's the name, 50,000, which would not even translate up to like 4,000 or $5,000. And the business I do, I trade currencies. Like, I speculate. I'm a hardcore speculator, and then these numbers are just like nothing. Even with my colleagues, and then with my peers in the game, to make a profit in the market of 4,000, 5,000, and then rally around with it, like, we're watching you, like, are you serious right now? So some of these things is just like, once in a while, I'm like, okay, people got to understand how this thing works. They got to understand that, like, it's a norm. It's not like, it's pretty much normal, to some level, when you get there. So I don't see them as any, like, strange thing or public display of affection, or, yes, as much as I communicate that, I'm just like, you know living my life, behind the scenes, and then on screen as well. It's literally the same. The feelings don't change, the mood don't change. It's not as if we plan that, hey, let's do this listing. So Twitter people call it settings, and then let me give you 50. No, like I said, I did something huge for her just about a week ago. It did not also come on social media. How about that? But yeah, it is what it is. Nee.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful. I understand those things because obviously you know what I do on social media. Yeah, and I totally understand. It's just beautiful. I'm asking this question for people who are bleeding. Anyway, Kojo, we've done 26 minutes already. I want to talk and talk. I have more to ask, but we have to also respect people's time. So I will end it here for now and ask you to say your final words. Any advice for the traders out there, those who want to start? Do you need so much money to start? Can you just start and eventually make it up there, or you are going to fail? Can you feel like doing forex trading even with the right tools and right people around you?
Yes, you can fail. Even to date, I still do fail. Trading is speculation. Speculation, there's no right or wrong. It's like let's say Manchester playing football match with Chelsea. No matter who the analyst is on BBC, on CNN, they cannot prove totally the outcome of that match, unless, of course, they know that it is rigged. They know that, okay, if they've arranged something. But out of the scope, if it probability wise, it can turn out to be anything if they're genuinely playing, by themselves. And it's like the same with trading. There's so many moving parts to the financial markets that one cannot always be 100% certain about the direction they call on the market. But once you are able to live up to that, you live with that. Let me just put it that way, that you're okay, that amidst the fact that I will not be 100% certain all the time. There are certain things that you need to study to beat the odds, right? We call that educated guesses. Now, if I just pull up a chart, pound USD, and I say, tell me where it is going now, you are just going to be doing an uneducated guess, because you don't really know what it takes to tell the direction or what is going to happen. But me, because I have studied them in depth, I can now use some educated metrics to say, because of this and because of that and because of this thing is likely to go here. It doesn't mean that at that point I'm not guessing. I'm still guessing, but I'm only educationally guessing based on fact. So it's the same thing. So regardless of the epitome of information that I'm putting together to call out these things, sometimes they turn out not to be that way. The market is a random walk of movement. You cannot always tell. So once you're a trader, you can only practice, learn, build yourself up, and then have an edge. An edge here is a probability of one thing happening to another. You can now have your edge being increased over the years, like your hit rate. Hit rate is number of times you're right than wrong. If you take a sample size of 10, currently with me, I can be right about 8 times out of 10. That means that 2 times I'll be wrong. It did not start that way. Formally, I'll start probably like 3 times out of 10. Then I'll learn my mistakes 4 times out of 10, 5 times out of 10. Now that I've known that I can, do this 8, sometimes even 9 times out of 10, then I build a confidence out of it. I know that I have something valuable, then I can make it a career. It doesn't mean that the 2% or the two out of 10 will not come. They will still come. If I have a $10,000 account and I'm trading, I could be making marginal profit. There's going to be times where suddenly my predictions will be wrong, my speculative on the market will be wrong, and I'll lose a portion of my funds. But the truth be told, you can manage the losses. In trading, everything is just you determine your loss before you even enter the transaction. Some people, trading has some level of a similarity when it comes to action, and then I'd say business procedure to sport betting. So sometimes when I'm doing trading scenarios, I like to chip in sport betting because that's what most people know about. Let's say you have a sport betting account of, let's say, 10,000 cedis or $10,000, and then let's say Chelsea and Manchester are playing. As far as the 10,000 is in your account, remember, you have the free will to tell that with this Chelsea Manchester, I want to put the whole 10,000 on the odds that I've chosen, or I want to just put a fraction of it, maybe 1,000 out of the 10,000 or 500 out of the 10,000. At that point, you're only measuring your risk to your reward. If you put the whole 10,000, if it goes right, of course, you know that your reward is going to be huge. If it goes down to, you know that you've lost it all. If you put 1,000, yes, your reward would come, but will not be as much appreciated as you would have put the whole 10,000. So at that point, you're only managing risk according to your risk appetite, and nobody can control that for you. You are the one that needs to control that. Most people come into the game, they don't have that idea, that education, that reality that, look, you can manage these funds. Look, you can have a $2,000 account, I can teach you that, do this, use this. No matter how worse of a bad trade you do, I can tell you, you'll never lose that 2,000 as much as you're following that. That is the beauty of trading. Even if you have $100 account and then you're putting something we call lot size of 0.01, you would have to be, what's the name? The market would have to move against you 1,000 pip before you lose that $100. You know, it's quite technical, but for anybody who's watching and then they understand trading, they will understand. Like 1,000 pip, I could give you a scenario. It would be like CD moving from, let's say, one CD to $1 to 10 CD to $1. Right? Do you see how many years it took? How many years? Probably our whole lifetime. That is how long it will take you to lose even $100 if you're applying the right risk. So people say, oh, trading is risky, I don't want to get involved. No, they don't understand what they are doing. They are not taking time to learn and understand the reality of it. So you lose your money, and then you go out and spill, unfortunate information out there. But once you tend to understand some of these things, you realize that, wow, why haven't I given it a try for all my years? You should give it a try, Nee. And I think you have a different perspective.
Yeah, I think I will. Anyway, we'll talk behind the scenes, guys. So this has been Kojo Forex, and I hope you've learned something new. And well, follow him on social media. He's very active. He's on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, TikTok. Like this guy is everywhere. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to this channel. See you guys next time. Peace out.